So in 2003, you guys released the album TruANT, two singles, These Days and Glow, which was a top five single. We have a fan question from Scott Manson. His question is, what was it like working with the Stone Temple Pilot legends, the Deleo brothers, for the TruANT album? Did they influence your music or style?
Oh man. So yeah, getting to write or learn, to work with them and write a record under their like tutelage, you know what I mean? It was pretty surreal and it was like going to school. It was everything. If you can watch like the Rick Beato with Robert DeLeo, and it's just like a lot of the stuff that he's saying and that they're talking about. I was like, I remember like kind of just Robert playing and showing us some of these songs and just like how to play the songs right. That Stone Temple Pilot stuff like the chords and just like different inversions. And for our own music too, it really became something. It was a big lesson and just songwriting and just the craft of being a musician and like just tone wise, you know what I mean? Like just learning about tones in there. All the old gear and vintage gear that they had in their collection, they brought out like during that time, and from tones to how you're constructing the song, harmonies, chord inversions, progressions. I mean, they really just get in there. I mean, it was a little overwhelming, I wanted to say at first, like because they're such good songwriters and such good, and we were so in awe and enamored, you know what I mean? To where it was almost like here, take my guitar, just go ahead and do it, like almost like you do it, you know what I mean? But then, we got to business and they did a great job just like kind of coaching us and big brothering us and, doing all the things that they needed to do to get that out of us. Cause it was a lot. And they stepped into like a pretty fragile band, you know what I mean? With everything that we had gone through at that time or up to that time. And so, and they had been through plenty themselves, and we learned a lot about the whole rock and roll stuff. And they told us a lot of stories and shared a lot of insight. And so, to see kind of like the battles and struggles that they had within their band and hear about it firsthand, and then to know what, monstrous, musicians and just how great they are and just what they've kind of juggled within that, and just all of it that they've like kind of encompassed being musicians, being a band, that they were able to share with us and kind of rub off on us at all. It was something else, you know what I mean? Like I feel like again they're in our DNA, you know what I mean? And yeah, I can't say enough about how just legendary they are when you hear their music. When I hear their music now, it's like just knowing and having worked with them, it's like I feel like I'm like even closer inside of it because it is really just top-notch songwriting. And at the time, I want to even say this too. I'll say I was a little bit like apprehensive about going to work with them because for us and our band and our aspirations, what we were trying to do, like Stone Temple Pilots was not like on our radar that way. We loved them, thought they were great at what they do, but we weren't trying to be like them at all. You know what I mean? That wasn't the thing. I wish that we were more like them in hindsight, you know what I mean? Because like they just are so just monstrous at just their abilities and just the sensibilities and capabilities and just like the depth of their artistry and their knowledge and abilities to like play the music and construct it all. And I mean, it's just is intimidating a little bit too. And I was worried, like, the guys in the band were going to get swept up, like, kind of like, oh, well, it's Stone Temple Pilots. Let's try and impress Stone Temple Pilots by writing songs like the Stone Temple Pilots. You know what I mean? I got kind of a little bit like, I didn't know what to do. So, at first I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get in that whole, like, kind of caught in their tractor beam, you know what I mean? But it quickly, I should say, it turned into what it turned into, and it was so fun, and they were so like good to let us all be our own, musicians. And but yeah, it was I couldn't be more grateful for what I learned in that session. Again, with tones and like now as we go record and do everything that we do now, being in those sessions and having them show us different guitars and different, just ways of capturing different tones and just everything that we learned in there, it was can't say enough.